Elise Support might sound like a strange pick, since you will encounter her inside the jungle under normal circumstances. Well, not on this channel. She is a solid pick on the support role since she has a lot of tools that can be useful on this position. Elise has a spider as a great poking tool that chases an enemy once it's locked on them and deals some solid damage. Quite annoying. She also provides a stun with a solid range, a point-and-click damage spell, and when you manage to hit the full combo on your opponent, they will just disappear in a matter of seconds. And her spider form grants her with an ability that makes this champion super annoying to deal with. A spell that can be used as a gap closer, perfectly works for removing tower aggro in an instant, and dodges whole ultimates. So overall we can say that this is a solid support pick you can dominate the lane with. Before even the laning phase starts, Elise Support can already make use of one of her major strengths: her ridiculously fast leash. Due to the fact that this champion is meant to be a jungler, the HP bar of the blue buff melts away thanks to her spider form, which you have automatically unlocked at the start of the game, so you don't have to make use of a skill point. Instead you can unlock your W spell, which allows Elise to send a spider that deals some damage. These are the two things we are going to make use of during the leash. First of all, you are going to send the spider to deal some damage. While it's on the way, Elise is going to transform into her spider form, which spawns 2 additional spiders. Use the W spell in her spider form again, which provides her and the small spiders with some additional attack speed. Here you can make sure that your co-workers take the aggro of the buff in order to minimize the health loss of your jungler. But since you want to make sure to not accidentally steal the buff, you should transform back into your human form to make these small spiders despawn again. After this fantastic leash, we can hit right away towards the lane with a freshly bought spell Thief's Edge and poke the shit out of our opponents, which is quite easy with our small spider. It's just like a missile that gets locked on an enemy target and chases them for a while, exploding and dealing some damage right after. Quite annoying to deal with. But make sure to unleash these things when the enemy is not standing inside a minion wave, since they can also get distracted by them. But you can manage the travel distance of this thing because it won't hit an enemy before it reaches its target location. And since Elise is very mana hungry, you should always make sure to hit these spiders. Not only that, she also needs a lot of gold due to the specific item we are going to build on her, and those aren't cheap at all. What the fuck? In order to secure the spider hit on the enemy, you should unlock the E spell when you reach level 2 with Elise. It is a stun which has quite a solid range, and as soon you hit someone with that, just send out your child that is going to collect your first strike goal. And for your AD carry, it is obviously easier to shoot on a stationary target, or use it as a tool to save your carry from a hard engage. But there is one big problem with this spell. It can't get through minions.
You're just ruining it! Look at my lips, you're ruining it!
So when you miss it, this ability goes on a 12-second cooldown. Until now, Elise Support sounds like a quite boring pick that can throw some stuff on the enemy and runs away right after. Well, at level 3, the playstyle of this champion is going to change radically. The Q spell in her human form isn't really that special. It's just her point-and-click spell that deals more damage when he has more health and can be used in between the boring E into W poke combo. But at this stage of the game, Elise is one of the strongest champions in League of Legends, since she is already capable to use all her spells, while most champions still have to gain 3 more levels in order to unlock their whole kit. Elise already reached that power spike and can make use of her full combo that can burst down any hyper carry. At the start, you make sure to lock the enemy down with your E spell. Then, Elise throws her spider nuke to the side since you don't want it to nuke your opponent yet. Throw in some point and click damage with your Q spell. After that, Elise turns into her spider form, summoning 2 more spiders at the same time. Now you want to make use of the Q spell of the spider form on the enemy, dealing more damage based on his missing health and also launching all small spiders. Yes, even that one we have just summoned with the W spell onto the enemy, dealing some massive damage. Do an auto attack and auto attack reset with the W spell, increasing the attack speed in order to collect the kill, when they have somehow managed to survive that nuke ability. And here is how the one-shot combo looks summed up. As I have already told, Elise is quite mana hungry. So do we even have enough mana to burst an enemy champion down? I mean, after all, we are going to use 6 abilities in this small time window. Well, luckily, Elise's spells during her spider form don't need any mana to be casted, so even when your mana pool is empty, you have still this option to deal some damage. Not only that, thanks to the lifesteal, you even get some HP back. The spider form also grants Elise with more movement speed, which allows you to roam around even faster and collect some kills here and there. So when you are planning to go for a long trip, make sure to move around with the spider form in order to save some time. Since Elise is a jungler and is therefore meant to be a good ganker, her roams can be quite effective. Due to her stun and the amount of burst damage, she can easily collect kills on other lanes. But since it is quite hard to hit someone with a CC spell that can't get through minions, Elise can just make use of her Spider-Man teleport as a gap closer. And when you are right next to the enemy, it is impossible to miss this stun. Anyway, let's get back to the lane, which is dominated by Elise, since it doesn't matter which playstyle the enemy chose. They are going to lose anyway. When the enemy bot lane decides to engage, Elise can just jump on the enemy carry and slap them right away back into the gray screen in a matter of seconds. But what if they decide to stay away from us? Well, that's not a problem either, since we are just going to travel back in time at the early stage of the game. Can you guys still remember this? Where we just threw our small spider onto the enemy and they weren't able to dodge it. We are going to repeat the exact same thing, just with the small difference that these things deal a bit more damage than before. But just a little bit.
Nope.
That's why we are going to max this ability first. By poking them down step for step, you forces the enemy bot lane more and more to stay under their own turret, since they obviously don't want to die. Well, who fooled you guys into thinking that you would be safe from Elise under your own turret, when there is one champion good at this game called tower diving? It's Elise. The main reason for this is her E-spell she can make use of during her spider form, since it allows her to become untargetable for the next 2.5 seconds. So you can just burst the enemy to low HP, and when your HP bar starts becoming smaller, you can just say that you are out, and even teleport to the next neutral or enemy target. So it's Zhonya's but with some extras. This should give your carry enough time to collect the kill. But there is even another spell that can be useful during the dive, and that's Elise Stun. Not only does this thing has the function to force an enemy to stay at a certain spot, it also deals 0 damage. So now you might ask, well okay, but why would it be useful when a spell deals no damage at all? Simple. When you attack an enemy champion under their own turret, it's obviously going to shoot at you. And now Elise's spell allows you to stun an enemy under their turret without getting targeted by that thing. So you have some time to walk up towards them without being afraid that this statue might shoot at you. And one-shot them right afterwards and just teleport away. Except hard CC, there is no real counterplay, but when Elise reacts fast enough, even they can be dodged without any problems, and she can engage on that defenseless support right after from the sky. That's a lot of burst damage, I would say. Aren't you scared that you might take some kills from your AD carry? No, not in the slightest. In fact, Elise Support needs some gold in order to be able to afford one of those expensive items. That's also the main reason why this champion is going to take first strike in her runes. We are going to poke them down with our W spell anyway, and also the stun grants Elise with first strike gold. So at the end you also get a decent amount of money through this rune. Together with your carry, you have more than enough damage anyway. And Elise needs a lot of gold to snowball properly, otherwise she just becomes completely useless, since what is an assassin that deals 0 damage? Late game, Elise's task doesn't differ a lot from her ordinary playstyle. With her gold lead, she wants to purchase those AP items in order to snowball properly, and that's why we are going to fulfill her main function, one-shotting squishies. By just sneaking inside some bushes, Elise is able to one-shot her by using the full combo I have already shown earlier. And with her E-spell, she can easily engage on the enemy carry, and there is no counterplay from preventing her doing so. But she is not only useful at one-shotting some opponents, she is also a genius at wasting the enemy's time. When you accidentally get caught by the enemy team and they start throwing every spell at you in order to get rid of a supporter, you just press E in order to dodge all abilities. And as soon as Elise comes down, you just activate your Zhonya's, wasting a total of 4.5 seconds. This allows you team to engage on the enemy and get rid of them instead. Here are the build and runes for Elise Support, and when you are looking for a bot lane that gets a guaranteed kill at level 1 and dominates the lane so hard that the enemy ADC can't get any CS, click on this video right here.